need a mic check.
Yes, please.
So, thank you. For the past 3.5 days, the city of Phoenix and surrounding communities have been outraged that a violent criminal was on the loose, someone who, without hesitation, Nicholas Cowan has been taken into custody for the attempted murder of a Phoenix police officer and a full other list of crimes. 80 hours after Thursday, I was angry. I'm tired at the brutal attacks on law enforcement, not only here, but around the country. This violence against officers in big cities and small communities must stop immediately. Support for law enforcement profession has never been more vital than it is today. These continued attacks on our brave officers will not, cannot, should not be tolerated. As we have just demonstrated, you can run, but you can't hide. It may not be today, it may not be tomorrow, but we are committed to pursuing justice for all victims of violent crime, including those who wear the badge and protect and serve. This has been a significant operation, and I would be remiss if I didn't thank all of our partners, the ATF, the FBI, the U.S. Marshal's Office, Prescott PD, and Yavapai County Sheriff's Office, and of course, the Scottsdale Police Department this evening. I also want to thank our community. We pushed out information for you to call in with tips, and you called in with many, many tips, and each and every one of them was followed up on. In fact, it was a tip tonight that led us to where we are today. So thank you for being our eyes and our ears out there and for answering the call. To say that I am proud of this effort that went into this investigation is an absolute understatement. I am extremely proud to be a law enforcement officer and to stand with and on the shoulders of all those who came before us, because this effort alone demonstrates the amazing partnership that we share here in Arizona as well as in our country. We will continue to work hand in hand with our community and our partners in law enforcement to bring all criminals to justice. So thank you for coming out this evening. Really thankful to be able to share this news with you. And I want to turn this over to Sergeant Andy Williams, who will answer questions. Y'all have a blessed night.
As the chief stated, I'm Sergeant Andy Williams. I know she already provided a list of the agencies that assisted us. I'm going to go ahead and recap that just to make sure we didn't miss anybody. We had assistance in some way or shape from Prescott PD, Prescott Valley Sheriff's Office, Yavapai County Sheriff's Office, Chino Valley PD, U.S. Marshals, ATF, FBI, Scottsdale PD, Department of Public Safety, Maricopa County Adult Probations, Mesa PD, and Gila River PD. So as we know, this all started April 14th at about 10:30 a.m. Like the chief stated, it's been about 80 hours that our investigators have been working to track Cowan since he shot that officer at about 10:30 in the morning. One of our other officers returned fire at that time, and we now know that Cowan was struck several times and injured during that exchange of gunfire. He fled the scene and abandoned his vehicle, called an old friend, and was picked up by them. Throughout the course over those 80 hours when he was on the run, he received assistance from multiple people. At least one has been booked by us so far, Nicole Montalbano, a 33-year-old female, former romantic partner of his. She's been arrested for hindering prosecution among other charges. We do believe that Cowan received assistance from other people. That's still under investigation. Investigators tracked Cowan over the last 80 hours and served search warrants at least 4 different locations throughout the valley, finally culminating tonight here, where we did receive a tip that he was here and that he was injured. When our officers and detectives from our Tactical Support Bureau arrived, they set up containment on this area and began negotiations over a course of hours with Cowan, where he refused to surrender. Our Tactical Support Bureau utilized every tool that was available to them to attempt to de-escalate the situation, and they were able to successfully arrest him without a major use of force against him. He has been arrested. He's currently receiving treatment for the injuries that he sustained during the shootout on Thursday. Please keep in mind, this is an incredibly complex investigation. We've just now barely reached the end, an hour ago. I need to sit with our investigators to pour over all the details before I can really speak about details. Everything I've given you is preliminary information subject to change. With that being said, I can attempt to answer a few questions, but anything detailed is going to be beyond the information that I have available.
Did a resident call in the tip today saying that they saw him injured, they saw him in the area? Can you give a little bit more specific details?
So I don't have the specifics of the tip, but the tip that we received came in today, and it led us to this location here where we found Cowan.
Is that person receiving the $35,000 reward?
I do not have anything to do with the reward. As long as they meet the stipulations of those various agencies that offered the reward, but that's not up to me.
Is it under your impression that Cowan was hiding in multiple locations prior to this location, or was he here this whole time?
We believe he moved to multiple locations and had assistance from multiple people over the last approximately 80 hours.
Is it your impression he was staying with someone he knew in this current residence?
We don't have any information about him staying with anyone here. We believe he was alone.
Can you describe his injuries when he was taken by ambulance?
He's got several apparent gunshot wounds to his body, likely from the exchange of gunfire on Thursday.
Any information that was given to the officer that was injured that the custody happened? What reaction can that officer give that you can relay on to us?
Yeah, I don't have her reaction, but she has been made aware that an arrest has been made.
How is she doing right now?
Everything we've heard is that she continues to improve. She's in pain. It's a serious injury. She was shot, but she's improving, and we're very grateful for that.
What charges?
She's still hospitalized, correct?
Correct.
What charges is Cowan facing?
I'm going to leave that to the investigators. We've got at least aggravated assault, possibly attempted murder, among several others.
Speaking with some people who live around this area, they said that they recognized him walking freely. Are you able to talk about that?
I don't know what you're referring to.
At this point, and I'm sorry, I've been listening into our live feed as well, but at this point, did we release the Phoenix police officer's name who was shot originally on Thursday?
We have not yet released that.
Okay. Do you plan on doing that at all tonight?
Not tonight.
Okay.
How long was the standoff?
It was several hours here. Like I said, several hours of negotiations and attempting to use all of those tools that our Tactical Support Bureau has to encourage that Mr. Cowan to surrender peacefully.
So what are those tools? Because obviously most people don't know.
Yeah, we have communications devices that we can insert into the residence to give him a chance to talk with us. We make multiple exits available for him to leave. We can also use chemical agents like gas to encourage him to exit the residence. The last thing that we want to do is to force an armed encounter, and we were able to avoid that situation tonight.
Was he speaking to the negotiators?
He was speaking to the negotiators, making it clear to them that he was not going to surrender.
So he did not get injured at all by officers tonight?
Without significant use of force, he was able to be taken into custody.
Do we know if he was, because originally we were talking about on Thursday that he might have had a gunshot wound or an issue that he was dealing with since then? Can we confirm that?
We believe he was injured. He was struck by gunfire from our officer returning fire on Thursday.
So he did not come peacefully, but he did. So just can you clarify exactly? He didn't come peacefully. He didn't agree to come peacefully, but there was no significant use of force.
Yeah, I think ultimately we just tightened that net around him until the point that his ability to resist was diminished, and we were able to take custody of him.
This was somewhat of what we felt like a secret operation to try to get him into custody successfully. Can you talk about why that's important? Why there wasn't a big public alert?
So I mean, there was the big public alert.
Thursday.
DPS assisted us in pushing out the blue alert. So certainly there was a major concern for public safety, and that's why our detectives have been working, as the chief stated, around the clock over the last 80 hours. Some of these guys are my friends, and I can just see it all over their face. They're tired. They haven't seen their families in 3 days. With that being said, ultimately we have to protect that integrity of the investigation. If we're putting out information that is tipping off Cowan, that we know things that he doesn't know that we know, now we're compromising our ability to make an arrest.
How was your communication to the neighbors who lived around the area that something was happening?
I'm not sure, I wasn't here.
Okay, did you guys breach the door, take him into custody in the unit, or did he come out of the unit and surrender?
He was taken into custody inside.
After you breached whatever to get inside?
Correct.
I know this was mentioned on Thursday. That was a domestic violence incident. Do we have any idea why exactly he decided to show up at the Marathon gas station and shoot an officer?
No, I think a lot of these details hopefully come to light over the next few days when investigators have some time to rest and really dig into the investigation. The last few days have just been all about working leads and bringing this manhunt to a close, so that we can ensure public safety. Somebody who's willing to show up, fire rounds at a busy gas station, right at some police officers, not somebody that we can afford to wait. That's someone who requires our immediate and full attention.
And when it comes to the assistance that he got, I mean, beyond just a ride, what other assistance do you believe he may have had for the last few days?
I'm not going to speculate on that. Our investigators have that information. Like I said, at least one person has been arrested.
What was her role?
I don't know exactly what her role is, but she's been charged. I'm going to put out an update later. It'll have her booking number. Hopefully there's some information there that you can glean from that.
Do you have the information of which locations Cowan was located in those last 4 days?
No.
But all over the valley, is that safe to say?
Correct.
Okay.
Do we believe he was moving from place to place to place?
I think the thought is he moved from place to place to place until he eventually wound up here. We don't know. We're gonna be continuing to investigate that. No. Okay. I think we're exhausting that point where I just don't have the answers to some of these questions. So I appreciate you guys coming out. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your understanding.
Was he armed? I'm sorry.
I don't have that
Okay.
information.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.